Hi, everybody. Thanks for taking time to check out this live broadcast. Replayers, thank you for taking time to check out what you might have missed. And of course, if you guys have a Bluetooth and you guys just can't get away to watch this, then just go ahead and put them on or crank up the speakers and just hear the good word, good vibes. And that way you guys can get what's going on and get updated on what's happening. My name is Tony. I'm one of the founders for Needy Wilmington, a nonprofit for public, which means whatever items we receive, donations or services, go directly back to the community, which means is that we're a grassroots organization that does nothing but sweat equity. That means we put everything we have into it to make the event or make the things needed happen. All right, so let's talk turkey. So I wanted to make sure first that I hope you guys are all good and safe. And if you guys can, please be good to someone. Either do a good deed, go check on somebody, give somebody a plate of food if they don't have it. If you see somebody who has a ripped shirt or something, provide them a shirt. It doesn't have to be brand new. It could be something that's still good and wearable that you don't wear anymore, and give it to them. Give somebody some food that you don't use or you don't have in your cupboard, and just make a difference. Okay, so hi Juanita, thanks you for Instagram. Thanks for tuning in. As you guys know, we do things now on Facebook and Instagram at the same time, so you would find us on both platforms. So anytime during the broadcast, if you have any questions, please jump on and let me know. Otherwise, if you're shy and you'd like to go ahead and do it afterwards, then go right ahead. You can send us to WhatsApp. You can do Gmail. You can go through our Messenger. You can go to our DM on Instagram. You can go just send me a freaking letter if you want to our P.O. Box, 1753, Wilmington, California. Okay, so we're going to talk about Thanksgiving. First of all, thank you so much for the overwhelming individuals and families and groups that already seen our posts already and sharing them out. We really, truly appreciate it. COVID-19 should not stop what we're doing and what we're trying to achieve. And of course, is making either a student, a veteran, an individual, a couple, or a family just to make their life just a little bit better. Thanksgiving is no different. Anytime, for some reason or another, it always seems to feel more and more of a need when it comes to fall and winter. And it shouldn't be that way. It should be like that throughout the year. It's not just a holiday. Unfortunately, for ones who have families, it is a burden because it means it's a little bit something more than what they're used to. They have to spend a little bit more than what they don't have. They have to do the best they can for their family just so they know they can celebrate or be part of the festivities. So it is what it is. So first of all, please share this out with everybody so that way they know they're part of the broadcast or part of the video when they get to watch it. And so Thanksgiving, we have different things going on, and we just want to let you guys know what they are. So due to COVID-19, of course, all protocols are going to be in place and they will be enforced. So just to let everybody know, whether you come to the event or you plan to volunteer or help out, we have to adhere to all the protocols and what's needed. So if you don't follow the protocols, then I'm sorry, we have to tell you guys that you have to go home, or we just won't be able to work out anything because you have to follow the protocols, and we don't want to spoil it for anybody else. And of course, we have to control the spread. Okay, so the food list. So the food list is something that we do every year, especially it's more this year that we need it, is because one of our major sponsors that we have normally that do part of that are not able to do it. One, it's a group of veterans and senior citizens that put on this event. They helped us out doing this for years as part of their food contribution. They can't do it they couldn't do it because COVID-19 prevented them to have meetings, fundraisers, and food drives to do that for us. And so it kind of put a little damper on there, but there's a little bit of hope maybe in the tunnel, and we're waiting to get those details worked out. But for the most part, we're going to need food, and the food that we do is for two events in one. One, this is called, which we're going to put a flyer out. We never put a flyer out, but there's a link in the flyer, Giving Thanks to a Pilot. Now, We want to make sure that we make this clear that it's not just for the pilot. It also goes for the families and their siblings that happen to probably even go to a community Wilmington school, and of course their families. So we make sure that we provide a basket that has a little bit extra, not just for Thanksgiving, but as well as a little bit extra once they're on Thanksgiving break. So that way they have a little bit extra. So we don't want you to think it's just for that one student and then everybody else is, out of luck. No, we go ahead and make sure we get a little bit enough. We've been doing this already. This will be our 4th year doing that, giving thanks to a pilot. Okay. As the need grows, of course, now we're working out with other community schools. Those will come out as they go along, but pretty much we're just going to be doing it under that program right now. And of course, when it gets bigger, then we're going to have to change it because we're going to be spreading out to middle schools and elementary schools or early childhood education centers. Okay, so that's that part. Again, no perishables. That means no milk, no butter, things like that, because we don't have refrigerators. We don't have things like that. Those are pretty much will go to waste. So please don't bother putting it in there or getting it. And if we are to take anything like that, depending on the situation, depending on the family needs, it would be only when it comes to the couple of days, a week before the event. Other than that, we just can't have it or store it. But there's plenty of other things that you can go ahead and donate. We need ham, we need the turkey, which of course is the week of, napkins, canned goods, things that can be microwavable. Now, mind you, when we help out the ones who are in need, we don't just, again, we're different than what everybody else does. We don't just put on events and say, here, here's the stuff. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't work for you, then give it to somebody else that can use it. It doesn't serve a purpose. We are a different niche on what we do. We pretty much, you could say pretty much cater to or craft to the need of the individual and the family, and not by choice. It's because myself and also others who help us doing this knows how it feels to have things that just not going to work. Either dietary restrictions, food allergies. So we do our very best to make sure we can accommodate. So for an example, if we have a box of canned goods and you happen to live in your car, it's not going to do any good. So we would not want to sit there and put a food basket together like that. We put a food basket together for the ones that can microwave something, or you can buy what it's called a reheater type thing. Now they have even more that you can just put it in a bag and you put in your cigarette lighter. If for the individuals or families that live in a car, they have these DIYs where you can put a battery together and you can reheat that way with a cigarette lighter. Again, you can put the like the microwavable stuff is what we normally donate. We can go ahead and provide those kind of things that can be microwavable, that can hold well on the shelf, and doesn't spoil. So we do cater to the families what they need. We're not going to give them stuff that they can't cook, and then they're going to stay hungry, or they're going to be food challenged. Okay. So that's why we have those kind of things, and those are on the list. So that's for the Thanksgiving food list. Now, the turkey donations, how that works is we're going to need somewhere between 30 and 40 turkeys. Again, nothing gets wasted. So let's get that straight. Nothing gets wasted. We don't throw anything in the trash. Everything that we use, and we even give it to either a shelter or we give it to a facility that can use it. We keep it nice and together. We put it all wrapped up. We make sure that the elements doesn't get to it, and we let them know that it was already brought up to temperature. But if you're going to store it, then go ahead and store it and then bring it back up to temperature. Volunteer. If you're going to volunteer, there's a sign-up list. Okay, wait, I went too fast. So for the turkey donation, if you want to go ahead and donate, please go ahead and sign up and then make a donation here through Venmo, PayPal, or GoFundMe, Cash App, or if you want to write a check, you could go ahead and either do it through direct deposit, or you can go ahead and send it to P.O. Box 1753, Wilmington, California, 90748, okay? Now, also at that same token, this is what's great, and this goes just not for teachers because we've had a lot of individuals ask. So, There was a tradition that we always do at Banning High School, which is called Quarters for Turkeys. Hi, Vanessa. Thanks for tuning in on Instagram. It's Quarters for Turkeys. And also, I want to acknowledge the ones that we don't see. Just so you guys know, Facebook and Instagram, you can see outside the app. So for everybody who's checking in and they are private, thank you for being part of that as well. So I know you guys are, we don't know who they are, whatever, but I see like the likes come up or whatever, and that's because they're watching from outside the app. Okay. So for the Quarters for Turkeys is an event that has been going on for years. Okay. And it was so neat about it is that it's about using your spare change. So rather than putting it in a coin tray or putting it in a jar or whatever, we want those change. And we, pretty much a quarter is what you normally would have in your pocket, because that's what you would put in a vending machine or a parking meter or something like that. So it would be kind of cool. It's like, instead of just doing that, can we have your quarter? So Quarters for Turkeys was developed way before I even was part of that. As far as myself, I've been doing this since 2008. So this was something that's been going on for years prior to me, and the organization as a whole, Needy Wilmington. This event stays by itself. It's not a Needy Wilmington event. It is a community event that stays the way it is for years. That's why it's called Thanksgiving the Harmer. It was formerly called Thanksgiving for the ones in need, or Thanksgiving for the needy. And then we decided to branch out to other events and things like that. We kind of pretty much, I would say, like a sister to the event, but it's been a standalone event for years because it's an event that a couple of family members started, including my wonderful counterpart and my girlfriend, Miss Rodriguez, and her family, and of course the Osorio family, and community members, and schools together, and businesses together, local organizations and governments came together, and this has been a tradition for years. So pretty much what we did is we took it to a whole new level, recognizing what we do and what we do for the community on ABC. We've been on the Daily Breeze. We've been with the Random Lengths, thanks to all of them. We even had a small article put in, I believe in the Thanksgiving part, or events that go around Thanksgiving time. And then, of course, last year we were in the Daily Breeze. So it's a wonderful thing just to recognize what we do, because there's a big need in Wilmington, not just per se, but meaning like, hello, that's great with all the bells and whistles and the way things are moving, but there's a small demographic that it's not being counted, and that's what we do. It has nothing to do with glorifying what we do. It has nothing to do with as far as looking for kudos. It's a way of making sure if we didn't do this, it would be under our eyes and we wouldn't know what's going on. We wouldn't see it, because we take it for granted that we don't see individuals, or we don't see these small demographic of either individuals, families, students that are in need, can't come out because they have to care for someone in the household. They have to take care of somebody in the household. Somebody has to work, so somebody has to watch the sibling, or they need full-time care, and there's no money to pay for someone to watch the individual, watch the child or children. So they pretty much do everything on their own and themselves. And that's not including certain restrictions like transportation and mobility, that they can't come to the event. So this is why we do what we do. Okay, the last thing is the monetary donations. The monetary donations is ongoing donations that we use. Thank you for so much. We just received a $5 donation. Like I said, we just want your change. And believe it or not, PayPal and Venmo will take your 25 cents. No fee. Just go ahead and give whatever you have. It doesn't matter what it is. Just please go ahead and donate your change. So let's say, for an example, you have X amount of dollars in your Venmo or your PayPal account. Let's say you have 65 cents. Why not donate your 65 cents and just keep the whole dollar, the nearest dollar, and just give us your change? And that way you did something great, because it makes a big difference. And that's why we're doing it a little bit different this year, because we want everybody to feel good about it, unless you tell me. So what we're going to do a little bit different this year is, rather than sitting here and putting out everybody's, donations and how much they've donated and things like that. We're just going to put initials out there, and you guys are going to know who you are. Unless you want me to go ahead and give you kudos, I'm more than happy to do that. And I'd be more than astounding to do it, because we want you to know that, your hard-earned money counts and makes a difference. But we feel to do things a little bit different, to not make it feel like it's a race on how much somebody has to give or the amount they have to give, and it becomes I gave more than you did and somebody else gave more, and then who they did or whatever. We don't want that. That's not what the intentions are for. So, but we want to make sure you guys know the money is here, and we're going to use it, and we do like we always do, which is called the transparency part. So we don't want anybody to think that, okay, so we're not going to know what's going on or what it is. Everybody has their own way of doing things and how they proceed to do things. We kind of done this already since we started in 2016, and it's worked really, really well. And that's why you guys continue giving what you do, is because you do see it. And sometimes I might have just go a little bit overboard with, okay, we seen the receipt, we seen you, this is how much you got, and da-da-da-da. But believe me, a little bit of redundancy pays off in the long run, because that way okay, where did that money go? Did you put it in your pocket? Did you get that extra Twinkie or something? No. So that's the reason why it's kind of like, say, a pound of or ounce of prevention is a pound of cure. So I'd rather go out of my way and just do that, so that way you guys know and you feel good about it. And that's why you guys continue doing what we do. And that's why we have a great following. And for being a nonprofit, okay, it's not like we have a great influence and I'm telling you guys great stories and you guys are liking what I'm telling you. It's, there's some good stories, of course, when they come out. And then, of course, it's like, okay, we already seen enough sadness and things in the world, and now we're going to do this. So it's in hand. So anyway, and I am going to be changing things a little bit up to make it a little bit more entertaining. So you guys just like, okay, so we're going to talk about someone's in need and you need some money, and yay, we're going to do something different. So we'll get to that. And the last part is the Thanksgiving delivery. We only had 2 or 3 people do it last year, which is totally great and awesome. Again, this is a community thing. So the reason why we have the Thanksgiving delivery is because the ones who did it went and bought everything they needed for Thanksgiving. So pretty much like adoption. So what they did is they adopted a family. It could be anywhere between 2 and it could be up to 7 or 8. And so what they do is they adopt a family. They adopt a pilot, and the siblings are either, community schools or whatever, because sometimes they get a permit and they go outside the city, so it doesn't matter. So it's for every member in the family, whether it's immediate or it's just in the household. And they provide everything they need. They get their turkey, they get their ham, which is kind of great, because that way the perishables, if they're allowed to have it, they get everything and they can just go ahead and get ready for the event. But at the same time, we also had a family that did have a house, but it was small. It was like, what do you call it? They were renting the room. They were renting a small part of the house. And so they couldn't have a lot. So what we did was buy a quart of milk and a quart of orange juice. And then we put the rest on gift cards so they can go buy more, so they can replenish that on their own. And then a lot of the stuff they were allowed to permit to cook for what they ask. And it varies. It could be from those microwavable stuff, or it could be like hamburger helper, or it can be like beef stew or canned goods and things like that. And then, of course, some side things like soda crackers or crackers for their soup or things like that. They're allowed to have. We contact the family and find out what they need and what they cannot have. And that way, when they get it, it's going to be all used. It's all going to be eaten and it's all going to be gone. So that's what's neat about what's thanks to a pilot. Okay, so that's pretty much in a nutshell. We talked about that. We talked about the volunteering. The biggest thing is also on the flyer is that the Los Angeles County Public Health put out a protocol list that we have to do. And what it is to make sure that we follow the guidelines for the charitable feeding. So both places where we prep the food and that reminds me, prep the food and also deliver, there's going to be someone taking temperatures, there's going to be gloves, there's going to be masks, there's going to be hand sanitizer to make sure that you guys are keeping what they're asking to do because we're going to enforce it. And we want to make sure that we make everybody safe and everybody comfortable. Okay. The last thing I kind of touched on it, but I didn't mention it, and I'm just going to add to it. And it's because it's really important. Hi, Jesus, on Instagram. If you just joined me, please watch the video. So that way you can catch up what you missed. And just listen along if you can't watch it. Is the volunteering part. Now, for years, we have had abundance. Go look at the video. If you guys go to the website or the information webpage, you're going to see last year's video. Luke did a wonderful job, a student from Banning High School. He did a little video. This is what it's all about. It's about a community thing. And so this is why I'm saying you can't buy this stuff. So this gentleman was very kind and did a small snippet. And I believe his name is Luke Denieri, and I hope I didn't butcher his name. He's on Instagram as well. He gets credit for it, of course. And he did that wonderful job of pretty much the whole thing because it was so cold and rainy, 50-degree weather. We didn't know if we could pull it off, and we did. Thanks to everybody, because at the last minute we had to get tents, and we had to get warmers. So it was almost like how it feels right now, but cold. It was cold. So anyway, that being said, some volunteers we're going to have to turn away if we get too many. And we will let you know ahead of time when you sign up. So it doesn't mean to discourage you guys to sign up. What it means is sign up early if you guys want to do it. Now, I will tell you ahead, we're not doing clothing and we're not doing posters due to COVID-19. It's just not practical with the space. And, of course, the possibility of cross-contamination and the amount of work that goes into it. There's no space, and it just kind of violates the protocol. So we're not doing clothes, and we're not doing posters. So we are doing actually we're going to have a little bit more people. So that kind of helps out because everybody can have a chance to do temperatures and also be the walk around eyes to make sure that everybody has their masks, make sure they have their gloves, because we're going to provide the mask and the gloves and also give you extra. We don't want you walking around with a defective mask. We don't want you walking around with a broken glove. Immediately put it on. And if it happens to exposed or you drop it, then you need to close your hands and walk away. Go wash, go because we're not going to have bathrooms. Sanitize your hands really, really well, 2 or 3 times. Sing the happy birthday song. We'll give you paper towels and do it again, and we'll give you fresh gloves, and you go back to do that. So that's how serious we're taking it, okay? So that's pretty much in a nutshell. Again, if you have any questions, nobody asks questions, but that's okay because that means probably someone's shy, and there's nothing wrong with that. Again, we have Gmail, we have WhatsApp, we have Messenger on Facebook, we have DM on Instagram. You can text message 310-929-0368. I get all the freaking messages, so don't think that I don't get them. That's why it's taking a minute to get a lot of things done. We are a very small group, but we do big things because we think outside the box and we go above the status quo. All right, so if there's not anything else to talk about or to do right now, we're going to go ahead and close this out. But thank you again for being part of this live broadcast. And replayers, if you guys are checking this out, do me a favor and share this out with somebody. Or even when you guys are live, share this out with somebody. Put in your caption, hey, check this out. Check out what this guy has to say. It's a good thing that what they're trying to do. Replicate it and just share it out. Thank you again to my skid, Anna Velasco, Elysia 51. She's going to kill me. I butchered her Instagram. And let me know his podcast. So thank you for sharing out the biggest post that we have done in the beginning. So it's getting out there. And enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe. Again, be good. And be good to somebody. All right, talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye-bye.